Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Just another experiment today. Does fatwood matter if it gets wet? And how well does it take a spark once it is wet? That's some water and fatwood going into the water. Let's see how we go. Obviously you just dry it off a bit, drip it off. As you can see, this is really good fatwood. So only the outside of that would have been wet, but well, that's a damn good piece of fatwood. That's just pure resin there. Let's just make it a little bit more interesting. A bit of water in there, just to see how we go. So I poured a little bit of water in there as well. Now, maybe I should put a few fluffs, a bit of fluff in there as well. There is water sitting down the bottom there. Have a look at that. Pure resin. There's water down the bottom there. As you saw, I stuck it in water first. And there's water sitting in the bottom there. That is very sticky. You can feel it. Okay, that's pretty soaked. It's got water all through it. That's in water. Doesn't look like water affects it much. See the water down the bottom? And I don't think if you stuck that in water and just let it sit in water, that's going to affect it much. Now that is getting down into the water bits now, so that is affecting it now. It is very wet there now. Okay, yeah. That was the wet bit. Okay, yeah. So, the super wet bit at the bottom did affect it quite substantially. But so if you had a heap of fatwood, okay, you got your fatwood got wet. So I had that in there. Your fatwood, that is soaking wet, that fatwood. So your fatwood's got wet. That was wet. I had it in the water, and this lot here is soaking wet. But I reckon if I put those curls on top, and spill my water all over the joint. I'm amazed, look at how thick, how juicy that is pure resin, that one. That would have made a good core, but I'm not making a core out of it. I just wanted to see how water resistant fatwood is, and I thought it'd make a good video. This seems to be a good little experiment. It's like bloody gasoline, that stuff. And I reckon that will dry out that stuff at the bottom because it's so hot. It is struggling a bit. It's still very wet. But that's why I always advocate if you have dry, keep it in bags, dried. obviously you're not going to carry all your fatwood around in just out in the open, so it'll get wet. I don't think it'll have too much problems now. That'll dry it out now. That'll be it. Anyway, you saw it. It certainly got, just dipping it in water and then cutting it open, that didn't seem to affect it much at all. It was a pretty hard ask once you poured water on it and had it saturated. It didn't work really well at all. But just wetting it doesn't seem to affect it at all. It burns, like just dipping it in water and then cutting it up and firing it up. That doesn't affect it. It doesn't seem to affect it at all. It just burns because that little bit of water on the outside doesn't. It burns so hot. It seems to get rid of that little bit of moisture that's on your fatwood anyway. So that's something I've learned. No dramas whatsoever. Like if you were in snow or whatever, a little bit of snow's not going to affect it. It will burn, no dramas. A little bit of rain or whatever, you're going to get this. This will go in without any dramas. Like, just make sure you keep your fatwood in little bags so that you've always got a little bit of dry fatwood with you, and I think it'll be like rain resistant and that sort of thing, not a problem whatsoever. A few drops on it is not going to affect it. Pouring water on like I did put it out. Like, it just couldn't cope with that much water in it. It's not going to be able to do that. But a little bit of drying out, and this has got it going, no dramas whatsoever. What triggered this was I saw a bloke soak his fuel in water, and then use fatwood to dry it out, and that seemed to work all right too. Well, that fatwood is now well and truly soaked in water, and it doesn't seem to want to burn at all. So I'm not drying it out at all. I would have to get a whole heap of... I'd either have to dry that out, because that's all soaked water now, because it's soaked in water. Either that or burn off 3 or 4 sticks of fatwood to get it hot enough to dry that out. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I was a bit ambitious with the water, and that's a lesson learned. Okay, yeah, you can't soak it in water and expect it to cope with that. That's fair enough. But yeah, light rain or whatever the fatwood is going to still burn effectively and cope with a little bit of water. So yeah, anyway, I hope this has been an interesting experiment and you've learned something, because I know I have. It is semi-water resistant, but not waterproof like I thought it was. But anyway, yeah, I will burn the rest of this off just to see if I can dry this out, and we'll go from there. I don't think that'll dry it out, but hopefully it'll get a little bit more. I might do some more curls on it and see if I can get this all dried out and burnt off. Anyway, thanks for watching.